This is the last leg of a long trip for the Fennell family. Up their 64-kilometre long driveway off the Udnadatta track to their home at Lamina Station in South Australia's far north.
Steve, your school shoes, are they still good, Dom?
Yeah, they still fit me.
The family's second child, 13-year-old Steve, has just made an almost 900-kilometre trip after his first year away from home.
Starting at boarding school, it's a very different change from going from living on a station to living more in the city. There's lots of new people, like sport. I've never played sport until this year.
But while the tuition fees at his regional Catholic school are modest, the cost of boarding has grown significantly.
It's a massive financial pressure because apart from the school fees, you've also got the associated costs of the travel, which is extensive. The kids' boarding school is 900 kilometres away.
Data collected by the Isolated Children's Parents Association shows the average cost of boarding school has been growing over the last decade. 19% in New South Wales, 22% in Queensland, 18% in Western Australia and 74% in the Northern Territory. And while the federal government provides an allowance which increases in line with inflation, it hasn't kept pace with this rapid growth in costs. From here at Lamina Station, it's a 5-hour drive to the nearest high school. That leaves two options: distance education or a boarding house.
Go and log on to your lesson, please, Eleanor.
The family's youngest child still attends School of the Air, learning remotely from home. She'll start boarding in 4 years.
I do want to go to boarding school so I can meet new people. Most of them will be my age.
You got perfect marks that time.
To help remote boarders, the federal government has introduced a new scholarship worth up to $20,000 a year. But there's only 70 of them, and an estimated 4,000 children from remote Australia who rely on boarding schools.
I don't necessarily think it's quite fair how they're only giving out 70, because there's heaps of bush kids that might want it and might need it a lot more than me and other people that might have gotten it.
The Isolated Children's Parents Association wants an increase to the boarding allowance that all remote students can access, which they say would cost $16 million a year.
Essential workers who come to our rural and remote communities, such as nurses, policemen, teachers, once their children get to the age of high school, they usually pack up and leave because sending their children away to school is unaffordable.
In a statement, Assistant Minister for Education Anthony Chisholm said there had been significant demand for the new scholarship and the government will consider additional places in future years.
We live in Australia and everyone here is entitled to a decent education regardless of where they live.
The Fennell family say they don't expect a free ride, just an allowance that will keep up with the cost of living.